So one of the things that I pay a lot of attention to when I practice is how to be able to play really difficult chords, because some of the music that I write, sometimes it's hard to play. Not all of it, but some of it. And one of my things is that I don't necessarily want the listener to be aware of whether the music that I'm playing is either easy or hard for me. I just want them to hear the music and hear the story that goes with it. So what I aspire to is to get the technique of what I'm using to be invincible enough so that the listener is only focusing in on the story being told. But I have learned a few things along the way. One of the things that I want to talk about first is that posture when you're playing difficult chords is huge. And I sort of discovered this kind of by accident. So, if I sit like this, I can play most, simple bar chords, and I can play all that stuff fine, right? But there's a chord in one of my tunes called F sharp minor 11, and it's like this, okay? Now, I don't know if you can see this, but my body right now is pretty heavily contorted in order for me to be able to play that chord and have it come out cleanly like that. So as you can see, my wrist on my left hand is pretty bent pretty severely. I'm kind of reaching around here. This shoulder's up, that shoulder's down. It's not terribly comfortable for me to do that. I won't say it hurts, but it's uncomfortable. And when it's uncomfortable like that, if it's too uncomfortable, it's going to be a little bit too hard to play live. So, very simple little tip, and that is take the guitar and put it on the other leg. And you see, so this is almost like what a classical guitar player does. But one of the things that you'll notice right away is that my wrist over here on my left hand is nice and straight as I'm holding the guitar, okay? Both of these shoulders are kind of even, okay? And it's a lot easier to take that same chord. Now, if you look at the previous video when I was playing this chord, the previous few seconds when I was playing this chord versus right now, this is a lot more comfortable. Now, the chord by itself is difficult to play. What's really challenging is to play it in context, get into and out of it within the context of a song. So this chord I use in a song I wrote for my third CD. The song is called 34.1, and the song was originally written as like kind of I was sitting around a campfire just looking for weirdo chords that used open strings, and I just kind of stumbled onto this kind of stuff. I mean, it didn't happen right away. I kind of worked at it for several hours. But so this is the segment that uses that chord. It goes like this. So the way that I came up with those chords, I mean, I could go through the names of them and that's fine. But basically, what I was doing in each case is, like this first one is C sharp minor 11 with a 9. Okay, and in each case, the open two strings, first and second strings, have a slightly different function against the rest of the chord. And I think that's what makes it interesting. Second chord. Okay, so I would call that C6 major 7 sharp 11. Okay, this I would call B2 add 4. So as you can see, it's based on a B power chord. I'm adding this note and then letting the open strings ring. Okay, now to do that, I get the third of the chord here, and then the fourth of the chord So you get that kind of sound in the middle of it. Then this would be A major 9. So the A major 7 chord is here. And then the 9 and the 5 of the chord are up here as open strings. Okay, then, okay, so that would be G major 9 sharp 11 with a 6. So it's a kind of a variation of the C chord that I played earlier. Okay, then the F sharp minor 11 chord I was showing you earlier. Now if there's any trick to this, use your second finger to get the F sharp. Use your third finger to get the C sharp on the 5th string. Use your pinky to get the G sharp at the 6th fret. That's quite a reach. And then all the way back here, 2nd fret, playing the 3rd string, and then open 1st and 2nd strings. So a big part of that is getting each note, each finger to stand up to sound the individual note so that the string next to it can play cleanly. Then this one, F major 9 sharp 11. Very difficult to reach. And then finally B2 add 4 again. Okay, so it starts with that finger pattern. Okay, then a little bit later on it does the same chord progression but with the strum pattern. So you can check out the song 34.1 on my band John Finn Group's 3rd release called Bull in a China Shop. So posture, pay attention to how you're setting when you're practicing. Keep playing.